Welcome to Per Her Perspective, a podcast of raw, relatable conversations on leadership, challenges, and solutions in running a business, often with the support of smart peers. The show inspires business owners to grow, make bold decisions, and go bigger with confidence. I'm your host, Marla Noel. Let's get started. Hello, my name is Marla Noel. Welcome to Per Her Perspective. Today, my guest, Kyra Hokanson Gray, is president and owner of D.E. Hokanson, Inc. Hokanson Vascular is a world-renowned manufacturer of medical devices for peripheral vascular disease diagnosis and is a woman-owned business with over 50 years of successful manufacturing history and business stability. Ms. Gray joined Hokanson in 1998 as sales manager, leading all sales and marketing activities for the company, and in 2005, she was appointed president. Gray holds a master's of medical engineering from the University of Washington, a Bachelor of Science in Physics from the University of Puget Sound. She is incredibly smart, and a certificate in business management from the University of Washington. She is an active member of WPO, Women's Presidents Orgaization, and a member of the advisory board for Meany Center for the Performing Arts at the University of Washington. Welcome to Per Her Perspective. And first, I have to ask you, can you tell me a little bit about your childhood? You have an inventor that you grew up with, and I think you have a little bit of the gene from Gene.
Yes, that was really good. Yes. So my father founded this company in our house when I was very small. So I grew up with a company being kind of run out of the basement of our house. And, my father was quite the tinkerer. He was an engineer, scientist. He was always figuring out why things worked certain ways. He liked to make things himself. He would see something and be inspired with like, oh, I could make that. So he would make it. And I got some of that from him, but he was much more of an inventor than I have been. And I mean, he and I were very close when I was little. I used to sit in the shop with him and he would make things so I guess a little of the history about Hokanson. So Gene Hokanson was my father, and he founded the company in 1973. And he was working for two vascular surgeons at the local Veterans Affairs Medical Center in Seattle. And they were working on publishing a book about hemodynamics, which is about blood flow and the pressures and the changes that happen within the body related to blood flow. His job was to verify the science prior to the book being published to make sure that it was accurate. To do this, they were looking for ways to measure blood flow or alter blood flow non-invasively. And my father was devising ways of doing that with cuff inflators, with rudimentary imaging products like Doppler that was used for creating an image of an artery. People wanted these products. So they were starting out just to verify the research being done to verify that the vascular formulas and information in the book were accurate. But then the fellows who were studying with these vascular surgeons started asking for the same devices for their own practices when they moved to research universities. And so my father started building these in the basement of our house, which is very unusual for medical device, especially in today's environment.
Yes, I would think so. But it sounds like if you build it, they will come.
And it was kind of grew organically. I mean, he worked very, very hard on the business. But that being said, it wasn't like he set out to say, I'm going to start a business and I'm going to make this thing and I will sell it. And here's my marketing plan. It was more of a kind of a happenstance.
Yeah. And it's difficult sometimes for that engineer brain to do the business part. How did he manage that? Did he have like the other side, somebody helping with the numbers in the business process, or how did that work?
He kind of figured it out. My mother joined the company officially in 1978 when the company was incorporated. She worked here until 2017 when she finally retired. But she kind of ran the administrative side of the business. So my father was very much the inventor. He was the one who was in front of the customers, knowing how the products worked and how the products needed to work, and understood what feedback he was getting from users, while my mother was the financial side of it. My father was interested in it, but he wasn't necessarily into the details the way that my mother was.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's interesting because it sometimes takes both. I find that when you have somebody that can take over like one piece that the other person it's a lot to do both, as you know.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Do you have a mentor that's helped you since you've been running the business?
I wouldn't say I've had a mentor. I have worked with, I had a business leadership coach that I worked with for a while, about 2 or 3 years ago, and she was extremely helpful. And she was the first official person that I had worked with like that. Really did help me out in a lot of helping me to prioritize and organize myself for the things that I needed to be working on, and making sure that I was setting aside time for moving the business forward on a
Yeah.
regular basis.
Yeah. Working on the business versus in the business.
Yes. Yeah. And my father and I worked really, really well together, and we bounced ideas off of each other on a pretty much a daily basis. It was also kind of, he would ask me about some customer feedback, or I would ask him about, even, I got this feedback from this customer. What should we do about this? And we almost always agreed on how to address certain situations. And then that changed. I was appointed to be president in 2005, and it was the plan that eventually I would run the company. It didn't happen the way that we expected. I was actually out on maternity leave, and my father died on Saturday in a plane accident. He was a pilot. And so it was kind of that was just thrown in, and it's like, well, we got to keep this going. We've got customers waiting for us. And the business was not designed to be wholly dependent on him. And Monday morning, I came in with my family and talked to all of the employees. I said, we need to keep this going. I, you know, I'm here, we're here. And here we are. We kept it going, and that was in 2005. So I still miss him. Yeah, I went and looked at the picture on our website of the story, our story,
Yeah.
as a picture of him, and I'm like, gosh, I haven't seen him for 20 something years, and I still miss him.
Yeah. Wow. Well, that's a hard way to go from being on maternity leave. And I think at that time you were sales manager to
Yeah,
running the business, and a bit of a shock.
it
So how
was.
did how did the employees help at that time?
Everybody stepped up. I mean, so everybody at Hokanson knows their job and knows how to do it. And
Yeah.
we're small enough that there's no individual that is the only person that knows how to do something. So there's
Yeah.
cross training for everything.
So
And
smart.
um so yeah, everybody stepped up to kind of fill in where, my mother knew all about the finances, so it wasn't like, okay, where is the bank account? I didn't,
Yeah.
nothing like that. But then the people that do all the assembly work knew how to keep making stuff. I think the biggest stretch for me was actually the regulatory part of it. I was familiar with it, but I really didn't know the details of the way that my father did. And we'd actually become ISO certified. I want to say it was like 6 months before I joined Hokanson. I was around it and operating within it, but I didn't understand it. And that is that's one of the things that I have learned a lot. And I actually got some really good advice from our then ISO registrar, the company that issued the ISO certification. They were very helpful to me in kind of piecing it together, so that we could keep operating as we are.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to have people pitch in times like that, because I can't imagine how that must have felt. Uh, it's those people around you. If you treat them well, and your father must have been very well respected by all the employees, for them to then come and pick up the pieces and and help with running the business at that time. So,
Yes. Yeah. And that's, I think there's an element of, I guess I probably learned this from him. I trust employees to understand their job and do their job
mhm.
or ask questions if they don't know.
Yeah.
And that's still the case now. So there have been situations where I had to step away from work for even just a week, and everybody knows what to do and the company keeps going. And
Yeah.
it's
I
not
I
100% dependent on me all the time.
which is so smart. This is one of the core things that I have heard business owners talk about, going from doing everything themselves to then trusting the employees that they have hired to do their jobs. And I do suggest trust but verify, you know,
Yes, obviously. It's,
but
well, sorry, not obviously, but yes, definitely.
yeah, I think obviously, but it's not obvious to a lot of people. So yeah, it's a good thing to check on what people are doing. But yeah, you've got to trust people to be doing what they are hired to do. I just wonder, do you have any siblings?
I do. I have a brother. He has a very successful career in NPR. He's been working in it essentially since he graduated college, and he's just never really been involved in the business. I think he worked here for about a week. It was sort of in between college and some job that he was picking up, but he's worked at the local NPR station, wow, since uh, late 90s, I think, something
Yeah,
like that.
I
Yeah.
love NPR.
Yes, I really appreciate NPR too, and not just because my brother works there.
Yeah, they have good programming. So yeah. I noticed in your bio that you have a golden retriever. I am a dog person. And
Yeah.
so how is it having a business and a family and a dog? And I'm gonna just go right into that life balance. Do the dog kisses help you to get through the day, or how does that work?
Absolutely. Yes, definitely. And that's actually my Google profile for my personal email is a picture of my dog kissing me.
That's fantastic. I okay, so this is my personal opinion. I'm throwing it out there. I think dog kisses help people live longer. I just think that that's true. I'm sure it's not medically proven. So I don't know, run that through your vascular program. Perfect. So, what one or two things do you think has made a positive impact on your business?
Oh my goodness. Ooh, how to narrow it down to one or two things. I guess in terms of balance that you asked about, especially right after my father died, I put things into bins. It was just kind of I was in survival mode, but it was
Yeah.
kind of a family always comes first. And then, friends kind of fall into that. And then business was second. And then, also shortly after my father died is when I went back to school to get my master's degree. So I was getting my master's while I was running the company.
And I know that's hard because I did the same thing.
It
It's
takes
hard.
a lot of very specific organization.
Yes, it does.
Yes, and we're both successful at it. So it worked. And then school was third. So it was kind of like when I was presented with an issue, it was really easy to just sort of categorize it on where do I need to put this in my priority list. And boy, I guess I carry that over to everybody that works here too, is that I do not expect people to work overtime. I don't expect salaried employees to be spending 60 hours a week here. People have asked to change their hours because the commute is horrible. And like, yes, because if that's what it takes in order to keep them happy and coming to work, then yes. And one of the challenges that we had to go through during COVID was that we're manufacturing and we have to be on site. You cannot manufacture at home. So we did successfully navigate how to keep staff on in the building, but we still had to keep coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was, and we survived. And actually, nobody here got COVID until May of 2022. So we were very successful in keeping everybody safe.
Good. Yeah, that was hard.
Yes, yeah, yes, it was.
I think everybody can agree. Is there anything that you wish you had done sooner?
I feel like I have a new product that's in development, and I'm on the third try of booting up this product. And there have been excuses for not getting it done. And actually, COVID was the first reason. The second reason, there were many confounding factors, and I wish I hadn't set it aside. It's kind of figure out how to make the time and get this done. Like, stop looking for excuses on it's just taking too long, or it's just going to cost too much. It's like, just figure out how to get it done. And because everybody wants new products, including everybody that works here. It's like when we're doing product development, everybody wants to be involved and is asking about it. And what's this about? How does that go? So it's an exciting thing. And to make up excuses for why we're not doing it right now is not worth it.
But we can always make excuses. I had a thing I was supposed to do for my business, and I was in Vistage, and the youngest guy, like, you know what, when you're the only woman in Vistage, somehow they treat you special, so they don't push. So the young guy in the group didn't know he wasn't supposed to push, and he leaned over the table at me and he said, "So you mean the most important thing that you do in your business is this one thing and you haven't done it yet?" And it's like,
thanks for
just slap across the face. Slap me across the face. That's okay. But he was right. It was like crap.
Right.
I know. Do you have any disciplines you wish to share with others regarding good business management? Besides the time plotting, how about any other business practices?
Yeah, the time, essentially what I did was block out on my calendar to make sure that I had time. It's like product development is this 2-hour block, twice a week. And then, in 5 days a week, I had something set aside that, it's like personnel time on Friday. And that could even be working on myself. And that is really helpful to me. And I think passing on the work-life balance to people that work here is also really important. It doesn't make sense to me to put so much into your business that you don't have anything else. And my family is really important to me. Meany Center, I'm on the board for that. And it is a passion for me outside of Hokanson that is a really fantastic organization. And I want time for that. And I want people here to have time for some other experience that is like volunteer or something that you can do that is edifying to yourself and to another organization, but you're not putting aside like, I can't do this because I have too much work to do.
I heard somebody say the other day, we don't live to work, we work to live.
I guess it depends on how you define work.
And that's true. I've always enjoyed what I do. That's lucky.
Yeah. And there are the things that none of us want to do, but have to do.
Yeah, very true. One of the things that you may have to do, and I was interested about this because I read that your products are sold worldwide and have an excellent reputation for durability. So do you get to travel all over the world because you're in other locations?
I have in the past. I'm actually born and raised, my kids were born at the same hospital as me. So I'm from this area, my mother is German. So I have family in Germany and I have traveled to Germany many times to visit with them. I have had opportunities to travel a lot for Hokanson. The reason I'm not just saying, yes, it's great and I get to go here and do all this is that especially since COVID, we're not traveling as much, and being able to meet with somebody on Zoom has opened up so many opportunities that don't require an airplane to get somewhere. I love traveling, and having the excuse of traveling for work is a great way to go see new things. Yes. Yeah. And I've gone to, just specifically for Hokanson, I have been to Canada and Brazil and Germany and France, UK, Netherlands, Italy, and Denmark.
What's your favorite place?
I went to Iceland for vacation last year, and I absolutely fell in love with that country. It is so beautiful. There is almost nothing for Hokanson in Iceland. It was just purely vacation, but it's so spectacular. If it's on your bucket list, it absolutely should be on there. It is just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And I went with my oldest daughter. I have two daughters, and I went with my oldest daughter, and we spent 10 days and we did the whole ring road in actually about a year ago. It was August last year. And it's just the scenery. You see pictures of Iceland, but then when you're there, it's so real and you smell it and it's just, you can't capture it. It's just absolutely incredible. And I would go back anytime, although I want to see a lot of other places too.
Yeah, the list is long.
Yes.
Speaking of two daughters, do you see any of your children taking over the business someday?
No. I think about 10 years ago, we were in a mess of regulatory changes that were happening, and it was really challenging. And I, it was kind of like, I don't know that I don't want this for my kids because this is really hard and it's not very rewarding at the end of the day when you pass a new regulation or something. It's sort of like, oh, we can keep selling the same product now that we did these extra tests.
Yeah. No.
And uh, and at the time my kids were in middle and high school. So and actually my oldest daughter just graduated with her master's in teaching, and I literally just graduated. Her thesis presentation was on Friday, and
Congratulations.
did a fantastic job. She wants to teach English language arts in high school, and she actually did do that for 2 years through the AmeriCorps program, and that's how she fell in love with teaching high school. And that's what she wants to do. And
She must be a saint because I think you have to be a saint to teach high school.
it was nothing that I ever wanted to do as a career. But it is absolutely a perfect fit for her. And she loves it, and she's really, really good at it. And then our younger daughter is, at the moment, she's happy at home. She hasn't gone to like continuing education quite yet. She's finished with high school. But I don't see her being driven and interested in this business.
Yeah, it's tough. Running a business is hard, and it is not for everybody. Although I've pushed people to do it and thinking, maybe I shouldn't have done that.
Well, it's their choice. So
It's their yes. Anyway, do you have any regrets that you've had in running a business? Is there anything that you've done that you thought, oh gosh, I wish I hadn't done?
I guess not really. I guess I mean, I saw that question on this list and I thought about it, and I don't really think about regrets. It's sort of like, this is what happened, and maybe I can learn from that in terms of like, kind of like we learn from our mistakes, where I can learn something so that next time I won't do what I did last time, but I don't really,
Okay, I'm going to frame it a different way. What was the biggest learning lesson?
experience. I'm going to say it has to do with personnel.
Uh-huh.
And that's one of the things that is, I have no bad things to say about WPO. I have learned so much from our chapter. I think I'm one of the longest time members in our local chapter.
Wow.
I've been in it since like the end of 2008.
Wow.
So, and I needed it. I really needed it when I first joined. I was introduced by our then banker at KeyBank, and we're still with KeyBank, but I have a different banker. But anyway, I think dealing with personnel can be really challenging, and it can have a really big impact on everyone else. In a bigger company, it would be like within a department. In a company this size, it basically has an impact on the whole company. And like I've had to, I've chosen to do it, but it was kind of like, some people need to retire. they don't know that they need to retire. They need to be escorted through the retirement process, if you will. Yeah. And I think that there's a phrase that somebody in my WPO group said, that you hire slow and fire fast. And that is really key.
Yeah.
Like when you're kind of on the fence about it. And that's where the peer review program or process in WPO is really great for this, where
Yeah.
sometimes even just verbalizing the issue that you're going through really helps you to organize it and see it for what it really is, and helps you to make a decision even without necessarily getting advice from the group. And yeah, I think personnel really is the biggest challenge, because it's we all need to be professional and get along, and when somebody doesn't do that, dealing with that can be really hard.
Yeah. Yeah, and sometimes when somebody is not acting the way you would act, it's difficult to know a solution.
Yes. Yeah. And I have learned how to talk about things like that, how to try to help coach people through issues with coworkers. And my question is always, if they're having an issue with a coworker in specific, they come talk to me. I said, okay, do you want me to talk to that person? And almost always the answer is no.
No.
So
Exactly.
I hope I coached you well enough to be able to handle it on your own then.
Yeah. That's funny. I would have to say, in running a business, I was not sensitive sometimes to what I should have been sensitive to. And I had this assistant who would come into my office and she would say, Marla, we have to do blah, blah, blah because this person or these group of people are upset. And it's like, oh, thank you for letting me know. Uh,
Yes. Yeah. I can't be aware of what everyone is doing all the time.
no, it's impossible.
Yeah. But
So,
sometimes it is helpful when that little birdie comes in and tells you, it's like, this is happening. You might need to address it. It's like, oh,
y-
thank you.
yes, yes. If I asked your employees how they saw you as a boss, what would they say?
Gosh. Empathetic, calm, and patient, and passionate in that I am very passionate about what we do and our customers and this vascular community that we are part of.
You work with physicians and you work with the patients. So you have a broad range of customers, right?
Yeah, it's weird. We don't work so much with the patients. We work with the clinicians who are using our products.
Okay.
And so, for instance, I was in Washington, D.C. for a vascular meeting last week, and it's attended by vascular technologists who are the hands-on with the patient. They're using ultrasound imagers in conjunction with Hokanson products, and they come to the meeting as a learning opportunity. And Hokanson's products are part of what facilitates their ability to do the tests that they do and to get good, reliable results. We are close friends with a lot of those people and those customers. And I mean, not just friends like, oh, yes, you use a Hokanson product, but more like I see them at many meetings and, we go out for dinner together and we're very social together. But yes, they are the clinicians and then also the vascular surgeon. So these clinicians, the vascular technologists, work together with the vascular surgeon to treat patients who have peripheral vascular disease.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do you think the hardest experience was that you've had?
I think that's pretty easy. That would be my father dying and picking up and keeping the business going. Um, I guess it was never a question to me. So when I came to Hokanson, I didn't come directly out of college to here. I worked in a couple of other places, and my father approached me because he wanted to replace the sales manager who was here. And he knew that it was a job that I could do. And I happened to be working at another medical device company at the time. But when he made me the offer to come work here, it was with the intent that I would stay here. It was not like the next move in my career.
Yeah.
And so I took time to think about it. I discussed it extensively with my husband and decided that, yes, this is the right thing to do. And it meant that I'm coming here forever. And I forgot why this came up. Sorry.
Well, we talked about the hardest thing that you ever had to do,
Oh, yes.
and yeah,
Yeah. So it was the intention that I was going to stay here. But I, I guess, but when he died, it was, I mean, like I said, it was on a Saturday afternoon, and there was never a question that this business will continue even without him. Pardon me. He didn't build the business to be about him, so it was okay to keep the business going. Like it wasn't like it was a huge stretch, but it was hard. But it's
well,
kind of one of those things where when you look back on it, it's like, wow, how did I do that?
yeah,
I did
yeah.
it.
Yeah, I know when one of my parents died, when my mom died, my thinking became stinking. I wasn't really good at thinking. So, yeah, and I know grief has a lot of different impacts on people.
Yes. And I'm sure there are so many things that happened at that time that I just, you know, I have no memory of them happening, I'm sure. Um, and it's, yeah, I think that part of it was, I mean, the family support helped exorbitantly also. And that was, there were some difficult times, and my mother, she said to me, this isn't supposed to be like the albatross around your neck. It was kind of like she was giving me an out, like, if you feel like you need to stop doing this or sell the company or something, it's okay. And
So
and
that is nice.
I appreciated her saying that, because it was
Mhm.
oh, so right after I started at Hokanson in 1998, I went to a vascular surgery meeting with my father, and it was the vascular surgeons at this meeting are like the top tier world renowned vascular surgeons, and they know Hokanson. So, and we have a great reputation. And there was a brother and sister pair who came through our booth, and they had a chat with us, and they left, and my father turned to me and he said, "Don't do that with my business." What did they do? So their father had also started a business that was in a similar industry as us, similar types of products, and it was a good product. But when their father retired or died, I'm not sure what exactly happened, but the sister and brother kept the business going, but they stopped doing any innovation or any manufacturing. They basically became a sales company. And to my father, that wasn't useful. And
Yeah.
that's what he meant. But he was so stern about it. It was, I was taken aback by how stern
Yes,
he was.
Dad.
Yes. But at the same time, I didn't feel like I have this responsibility. I have to keep this company going. It was more, I respect what this company is with or without him. And we have employees, their livelihood is dependent on this company. And we have customers who love our products, and they don't, like, if we were gone tomorrow, what are they going to do without our products?
Right. Yeah.
Um, so it wasn't that I kept it going because he gave me that stern warning. It was because, I respect what my father built. Yeah. And I'm happy that I have been able to keep it going too.
And it sounds like you have done a very good job with it. And WPO, since you mentioned WPO and you said that WPO helped me, tell me a little bit about who's your chapter chair?
I actually have two chapter chairs. So I'm in the Bellevue chapter in Washington, and we have Mary Jane Pioli and Christy Martin. And
Yes,
they've been,
very smart women.
yes, they are a fantastic team. And they're, I guess they founded the chapter. It was before I joined, but it was probably like 2007. So I was one of the earlier members. And
which is a long time to be in an
It is.
organization, but I
I
know
know.
when it brings you value, it still
I
means something.
can't I can't leave.
No, you can't. You can't. Well, the thing about being in the chapter, as long as you have been in the chapter, is you see new members come in and you know you can help them.
Yes, yeah, and I think one of the things people, prospective members come in and they say, "So why do you like it here? What do you like about WPO?" And I think the peer advisory group is really key. I mean, we are a group of business owners who have completely disparate businesses, but we all have the same challenges.
Mhm.
There are new tax laws coming down in Washington state, or, like I have this employee with this blah, blah, blah issue. It's like everybody has these issues. And being able to talk to somebody that and sound through it with another person who understands what you're going through is just invaluable.
Yeah.
And yeah, we have a really great group. And
It sounds like it.
yeah, and I mean it's changed. It's changed substantially since 2008. we've we've had multiple different hosts. But even then when for personal issues too, like my mother was looking for a new estate attorney and I reached out to the CPA that hosts our group and she had answers back to me in like 15 minutes. I was like,
Oh.
oh, that was great. Thank you.
Yeah, the resources, and this is the thing that I can't emphasize enough. You can't have all the answers as a business owner, and you can't know all the resources. And all those smart people in the room have all of these, not necessarily the answers, because maybe they don't, but they do have the resources.
Yes. Right. And well, yeah, and that's actually another opportunity that came up recently. I got an out of office that was a little unusual from um, one of our members, and I reached out to her and I said, "Do you want to talk?" And so she was going through an issue with a family member, and so I reached out to our whole chapter, and everybody came back with like, "Here's a resource for this. Here's a resource for that." So it's just kind of and knowing that somebody understands and hears your problem and then comes in with something that might be able to help is uh, when something like that happens, it's just like, oh, I have people.
Yeah, it's kind of like a hug from a whole bunch of people who care.
Yes, that's a
Yeah,
really good way of putting it.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it's assuring. It's really reassuring to have an experience like that, to know that people can swoop in and reach out and help.
I know your chapter. Well, first of all, have you gone to the forum? Did you go to Florida?
I did not. Um, I've actually only been to one. It was the one in Vancouver, British Columbia, and it was quite a while ago. Um, I've had a couple of things overlap with the meeting when it falls, and it's frequently been like our annual ISO audit, regulatory audit schedule, and or Mother's Day, my birthday. They all fall in this like 3-week period.
Yes, and they're not changing it out of May, I think, anytime soon. So does it look like you'll be able to come to California in 2027?
I might. I think I have it penciled in on my calendar. So hopefully I'll be able to schedule some other things around it.
Okay, I'll be looking forward to seeing you there.
Yeah, I would love to
Yeah.
meet you in person too.
Do you have any business books that you recommend? Because there's that one right behind me there that's drama-free management.
Oh, I like that idea.
Yeah, yeah, I know. It actually can work. Been there, done that.
Yeah. Okay. I've done like the one-page strategic plan through one organization, and I don't read a lot of business books. Yeah, I don't really have a recommendation for anything. I write down all these books and I buy them and I'll go through them a little bit, but then in the end, I don't really end up applying a lot of it. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I get that completely. Do you read for fun or
I
more of
do. And I listen to audiobooks, which is great for entertainment while I'm getting ready in the morning or
yes.
yeah, just kind of taking a brain break,
Yeah.
stepping away from work for a minute. And then
How about podcasts?
I listen to some. It usually is something specific, like a specific topic, or somebody wants us to listen to something. So I've listened to some really fantastic interviews and discussions. Um, and I really like the Tiny Desk concerts on NPR. They're musical performances, and this would be more for my involvement with Meany Center at the University of Washington. Because it will be like they'll have a performer, and it's frequently a performer that I've seen or even met in person, and they will perform in this little tiny studio, and then they interview them. So they'll talk a little bit about their music. And I appreciate that, especially where you're not just hearing music, you're also getting from the artist what it is. And that's where, like I said, I listen to audiobooks. I really appreciate when I'm listening to a book that is read by the author too.
Yeah.
Because you get the inflection and the input from that author of like, oh, okay, this is how they meant it.
There is an audiobook. I'll have to send you an email, and it's written by a doctor, and he's Indian, and he's gosh, I wish I could remember this something about stone. Oh, I will have to send you. I'll look it up, but I almost wanted to get in so I only listen to audiobooks in my car, and I almost wanted to go driving so I could finish the book.
There have been times when I get home and I sit in the garage for extra 5 minutes while I'm finishing the section.
The kids are going, "Is mom home?" Where is she?
It's usually the dog. He comes and looks through the window of the car. Like, why aren't she coming inside?
That's funny. Okay, so tell me a little bit about the Meany Center. What is it about? Because that is your other passion.
Other passion, yes. I played the piano growing up. I had lessons for 10 years, and my father started taking me to this. It was called the World Series, which was, I think at the time it was 3 different series, and it was classical piano and chamber music and dance. And so he started taking me to these piano performances when I was about, I don't know, 12 or something. And I got to listen to all these performers, and occasionally we would be able to meet a performer afterwards.
Nice.
Like at the green room, you just go stand outside the door and hope they'll open it and let you in. And when I went to college, my mother kept going with my father. And then when my father died, my mother and I kept going. And I really enjoy music in general, and I listen to music at my desk most of the day. I mean, not during meetings, obviously, and not music with lyrics because that's too distracting.
That is distracting. And then you start singing, and then everybody else in the office would have to start singing, and
right.
That would be distracting.
So I listen to a lot of classical music, and it really is. I love it. I really enjoy it. And there have been some performances where it just really strikes me as it just takes me away completely, because I'm in a performance hall with this musician or musicians, and a lot of them will share a story or share what this music means to them. And it's just a great way to be in an audience and enjoying and experiencing something with the audience that is not related to anything outside of that performance hall. And so I asked in 2015, I joined the board, and I said, what does it mean to be a board member? And I went and asked. It was kind of one of those things like, how do you do that? What do I do? And so I've been part of it. I'm the gala committee chair. I have been since 2020, when we had to pivot last minute to be virtual.
When nobody else could figure out how to do a gala.
Right. Yes.
Let's let the engineer in the group do it.
Yeah.
She can figure it out.
Right. We figured it out. Yes. But the people that are part of Meany are also a really fantastic group of people to work with. I really enjoy them, and we all enjoy similar performances, similar music, and it's great to be together with people that that you can just enjoy that with. And I've been on 2 trips, so they do multiple trips, and like usually 1 to 2 a year, where it's for a music festival or some special performance that is then they build around it to do like a tour. And I've been to a couple of those, and that's it's like a more bonding experience with the friends that I have through Meany. And I don't know, it's a great way to I really enjoy giving my time, and I think they get some pretty good benefit from me being on the board. So
I bet they do. That
yeah.
sounds wonderful. Is there anything else I have not asked you about that I should have asked you?
I'm not sure. What are my hobbies? Am I supposed to tell you what my hobbies are?
Yes. Tell me what your hobbies are.
I guess dogs are not necessarily a hobby, but hiking with my dog is one of my favorite things. Even just a walk in the morning is just really great. I'm also a knitter, which I just broke my finger a couple weeks ago, so I can't knit right now, and that's kind of that's challenging.
Are you going to tell me how you broke your finger? It was mountain climbing or something like that?
I wish. No, it was just a stupid accident.
That stuff usually is.
Yeah. The X-ray tech said, "Oh, I've seen much worse. Like people just stepping out of bed in the morning and they step wrong and fall over and break an elbow. It's like, this really isn't that bad."
Oh,
yeah. So, yeah, I've been told I should say, "You should see the other guy."
yes, I like that. I broke my shoulder because I didn't see a dog lying on the floor. It kind of blended into a rug, and my foot was over the dog, like right over the dog. And it's like, I am not stepping on that dog. And I just fell forward and I broke my shoulder. It's like, that's a hard one to explain.
Right,
But
exactly. And this was similar where I was just, so you're going to edit this part out.
I'm going to take that part off, but I'm going to leave in the laughing part.
Okay. Great. Thanks. Yeah.
I love it. Well, sorry for those that you didn't hear it because I edited that out. So
Right. Yes. But it is challenging that I can't knit right now. Like I was really close to being done with a short sleeve sweater project which would be great for
now.
Yes. And I also knit a lot of hats. So I've knit hats for protest marches, for support of people who need it for chemo, or there's also a purple hat project that is for preemie babies in hospitals. I just enjoy it, and it's a small project. And on long flights, most airlines allow you to bring knitting needles. I don't use like the knitting needles like this. I have little cable needles that are, like this long.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a great little project, and I can even, like watch a movie, listen to a book, and knit and
be productive.
I missed that.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes. Yeah. Even at home, watching a movie, I appreciate being productive while
doing something.
Yes.
That's good. Well, I really appreciate getting to know you a little bit more, and I hope I see you in Palm Springs in May.
Yeah, I hope so too. We'll
some of us here are planning it a little bit, and we have got an ending that I think will be amazing if we get everything together. So it has to do with the Chapman Film School. So that's all I can say right now because we haven't solidified anything, but I think it'll be really good.
Okay, good to know.
Yes.
It's a little carrot, the enticing,
dangling that for you. Anyway, thank you so much for being a guest on Per Her Perspective. I look forward to getting to talk to you again in the future.
Yeah, and thank you, Marla. I really appreciate your time, and I appreciate you reaching out and interviewing me.
You've been listening to Per Her Perspective. I'm your host, Marla Knoll. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to follow the podcast so you don't miss what's next. To go deeper, check out my book, Drama Free Management, a practical guide to moving teams from high drama and low performance to low drama and exciting results. To connect with me, visit my website, ocgrowthadvisors.com. Until next time, keep leading with purpose and perspective.